Memorial Day in Elm Grove is it's a kind of a family tradition for us.
Elm Grove is a nice, small little community. They have a very cute little parade. It's nothing large and fancy.
All the kids in the village are invited to decorate their bikes and come and be in the parade.
My two oldest children had decorated their bikes and they were going to ride their bikes in the parade.
I had their bikes and them in my car, and my wife and my 2-year-old were in our van. We just couldn't get all 5 of us plus 2 bikes in the van.
The traffic had been real steady and moving all along, and then we basically came to an abrupt stop, and it left Scott and I on the railroad tracks.
At that point in time, the crossing gates started to come down, and you know, my wife and I had been laying on our horns, you know, prior to that, just so we could get off the tracks.
An officer was running up. I could see him, and he was motioning to me to go over to the side, you know, shouting, "Go over!" And I looked over, and there was a gravel clearing to the right of my husband, and I thought, okay, I can get there. And in order to do that, you actually have to get off of the pavement. And so I was kind of coming at the tracks at a slight bit of an angle. I just gunned it.
One of the wheels of the van came off the roadbed and no longer had traction, which actually spun her around and then put the front end of the van facing what was going to be the oncoming train.
The police officer came over and was shouting at me to get out of the car.
The officer then went and got the driver's side door out and literally threw my wife, you know, clear of the tracks and the van, and obviously the oncoming train.
I was shouting that my baby was still in the car, and at that point he had grabbed me then one more time and kind of really threw me out of the way. And at that time my husband had run up, and they were both at the door. I saw the train just practically a few yards away, and I just turned my head and screamed, and I just couldn't bear to watch it, because I really truly believed that that was it, that my son was going to die here in just a few seconds.
I was able to get that sliding door open and was leaning in to get my son, and had kind of like the upper half of my body in the van when the train actually hit our van.
I pretty much ran screaming across the field, and as I ran, I saw my husband laying there on the ground, and I thought he was dead. And I saw the officer laying on the ground, and I thought he was dead, and I was certain that my child was dead by looking at the van. And I ran, like I said, screaming the whole way.
When I was laying on the ground immediately after the train had hit us, and I wanted to get to the van. I wanted to get to the van before Monica had it. I didn't want Monica to be the one to have to open up the door to see what potentially could be, you know, our dead son.
I got to the van, I opened the door. My only thought was not, is he okay? My thought was, is he in one piece? I mean, I didn't know what condition I was going to find him in. And I opened the door, and he was sitting there looking at me. He was looking very frightened, but looking at me, and there was nothing, not anything near him, not a scrape.
My injuries, the majority of them were internal. I had a kidney laceration. I lost about 30 to 40% of my pancreas. I lost my spleen. I've got 16 broken ribs, and I had a 1.5 to a 2-inch dissection between my heart and my aorta.
Mac has no injuries. he he's perfectly fine. You know, there was nothing wrong with him. The car seat was amazing. I think the Britax car seat saved my child's life.
I got to give my wife all the credit. When it comes to the features and the benefits that we were looking for in a car seat, she really did everything. And all the research that she did initially was with my daughter, again, who's 6. And, you know, we have not had anything other than Britax, just because the features and the benefits they offered, you know, 6 years ago were head and shoulders above the competition, and they have continued to stay that way.
The other thing I want to credit to saving my child is my husband for the excellent job he did in installing the car seats, because, you know, in my opinion, it's not just the seat, but it's how well it's installed and how well you use it also.
I had no idea that when I put Mac's car seat in, that that step would be, you know, part of the steps that would ultimately save his life. My wife is alive and well because of Officer John Cron. Mac's alive and well because of the Britax car seat and the things that Monica and I, you know, strongly believe in. We're truly blessed and we're thankful, and we're just glad to be back at home as a party of 5 again.